David Wygant with Brett Parker, 10-Minute Daily Reality Check, Tuesday, September the 12th, 2017. Here we go, man. We're heading towards October. I just seem to say it over and over again. The autumnal equinox is coming up in 9 days. We're going to be in autumn. Football season is upon us. First week of football was exactly the way we thought it would be. The Patriots would get blown out. The Arizona Cardinals would look exactly like Carson Palmer's 95 years old. The Giants would have no offense at all without Odell for some reason or another. With all the offensive talent they have, it doesn't really make a difference what goes down. Got to watch that game with a friend. And the LA Rams look like world beaters in week one, but then again, they beat the Andrew Luckless Colts. We were talking. And we're talking about life, love, the pursuit of happiness. I feel like we're about to write the Declaration of Love Appendants. It's been an interesting month since we were in Montauk. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of things we're both working on. Mm-hmm. You asked me a question about love. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people... I want to really put the right words out there that you were doing. They don't fully ask or know what they're looking for, or they don't believe it can really happen to them, or they're not really that detailed oriented. You explained it a lot better because it was in a conversation that we're having for a new program that we're putting out, and we're really talking about love and bringing it in, really bringing in all aspects of your life that you always wanted. So I'm going to let you explain it better because I was sitting there and I was listening to you, and you know me, it's like words go in, words go out, but the feeling stays and it gives me a chance to really think about it. So what did you say exactly?
Well, I started out talking about the fact that a lot of people are conflicted and they feel like they don't have the things that they want, right? And you can just say relationships for the sake of it. You don't have the relationship that you want. And you think about the things that have not worked and how old you are and that you don't feel as hot or handsome or skinny as you used to be, whatever, and all these things that are stopping you, right? Well, the truth is that most people don't get started to get what they really want because they fail to do one key thing. And that is be specific and know exactly what you want, right? Like when I last year in October, actually, October's coming up, talking about October, I stopped going out. I stopped dating. I stopped seeing anybody. And I took that month, I took the whole month.
I remember that.
To really think about what I wanted, how I wanted to be loved, for lack of a better word, how I wanted somebody to show up in my life, what did I want to feel, what did I want to feel like, right? And then I went back in November and I met somebody right away, and sure enough, they showed up pretty much exactly how they wanted them to. And they loved me in a way that I wanted to be loved. It didn't work out because they were in a hurry, right? And I wasn't in a hurry with them. And then with them, right? Key part of that sentence. Mm-hmm. And then I went,
write that down, folks. With them.
With them. And then instead of thinking, oh, why didn't it work out? What did I do wrong? And what am I doing wrong? That's not what I went back to thinking, this is what I want. This is how I want somebody to show up. This is how I want to feel. Not how am I going to get it. I didn't even, I took the dating apps off my phone. I wasn't online at all. I work at home, so I don't even go out, right? And yet, I met last January somebody that I ended up, A, falling in love with, and B, I'm still with now, 8 months, whatever, later, right?
8.5.
Okay.
There we go.
8.5.
Cruising to 9.
Yeah, there we go. So, like, and the lesson is, don't think about how you're going to get it or what you're doing wrong. Just think about what you want. But you have to really think about it and focus on what you want. And in order to do that, you have to know it. And the lesson, I think, is that most people never ask themselves that, so they don't know exactly what they want.
I think they're afraid to ask themselves that because we get so caught up on day to day. We get caught up on the kids. We get caught up at work. We get caught up having to go work out. We get caught up having to go food shopping. We get caught up on having to run errands. We get caught up on what our parents need and what our friends are pulling us in every different direction, that we don't really spend the time to really write down what we truly want and desire. And then something may show up or may not show up. It may feel good. It may not feel good. And then all of a sudden our shit still comes up, right? And shit's always going to come up. We're going to have shit come up every single day. That's a reason why most of us are physically regular, but emotionally unregular and irregular. And it's almost like when you write down or when you actually think about what you want, it's like taking an emotional shit every single day. It's literally opening up your heart space every day to the possibility of the future. So then when it comes, you're not going to be congested and you're not going to, ruin the opportunity or not embrace the opportunity or whatever it might be, because we're all very, I think in life, we tend to self-sabotage our life in lots of ways on a lot of different levels. The way that we self-sabotage, I know things that I've done self-sabotage, and then all of a sudden my biggest regret, as you know, is not buying the houses that I wanted. That was my self-sabotage, and I think when it comes down to emotional, you need to take an emotional dump every single day. You need to clear yourself every single day of whatever may be blocking you every day. Be aware of it. I was talking to a coaching client this morning, and it was interesting, and I kept saying, don't feel bad about what you did. Think about what you learned from it. Think about how you were able to become a better person, and think about then what you want in the future, because the future can only show up, as you have said over and over again, can only show up when we have a clear definition of what we want in the future, because the future can show up tomorrow. And when it does show up, it's going to test you. It's going to test your will. It's going to test, no matter what it is. It could be love. It could be work. It could be anything. No matter what you think something is supposed to be or what you want it to be, when it shows up, it's still going to kick you in the pants, kick you in the ass, and challenge you on levels that you've never been challenged before, because that's truly what it is. And we're never going to find a relationship that is the perfect story or the perfect ending or the perfect anything, because every relationship, and I think you said to me last week, one of the greatest quotes, and I actually put it up on Instagram, was, I don't know if you said or somebody else, but you said that we're not great in relationships.
Yeah, we're not good at relationships. We get good at the relationship that we're in. But something important to remember, and it may sound a little woo-woo for some of you, I'm not sure.
You get the woo-woo train,
yeah,
folks.
but
get ready to eat Skittles all day long.
Take out a Post-it note and write this down. Life is happening for you, not to you, right? If you think about the stuff that happened 5 years ago in your life, think back, right? And the important stuff that happened 5 years ago, well, you wouldn't be where you are right now if that stuff didn't happen. And if you look at it the right way, you're right. You're right where you are now because that's where you're supposed to be. I'll tell you a story. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I had this thought. My whole life was, why aren't I smart enough to work for myself? Right? I'll think about that. What kind of a thing am I saying to myself? Well, I'm saying A, that I'm not smart, and B, that I'm not going to work for myself. So 5 years ago, something happened, and I literally was at the very edge of a cliff, and I had no money, and I had no job, and I had no unemployment left, and I had no resources, and my parents are both gone, and no inheritance, whatever.
Yeah, it's funny your dad's still alive.
Well,
there's a funny statement. My parents are both gone, and my dad's still alive. Well, we won't talk about that.
So
it's been gone forever.
I changed the conversation. All I did was this. I changed the conversation because I was fucking desperate. And I had a kid. I still have a kid, but he was 10 or 11 at the time. I said, all right, if my life could be anything I wanted, what would it be? And I thought it out. I want to work for myself. I want to be there for my kid. I want to pay for his school, his college tuition when the time comes. I want to work with people that I really like. I want to work in some stuff that I'm interested in. I want to help people change their lives. Well, I looked up 2 years later from that day where I was honestly considering moving into my car because I was so poor. 2 years after that day, I was in Central America, traveling with my son, working for people that I really liked, getting paid a whole lot of money, and had the exact life that I thought of that day. And I still have it now. So
You can't worry about what it will be because it will be. So what we're saying is allow yourself to think about what you want.
think about what you want.
Think about what you want. When it shows up, are we saying that there won't be any challenges? Oh my God, there will be. And I did a podcast yesterday. I said we all have a hurricane inside of us. You know, there's Hurricane David, there's Hurricane Brett, there's Hurricane Teresa, there's Hurricane Hope, there's hurricanes inside all of us. And what happens is that when it shows up, it will reveal many things you have not yet worked on or think that you worked on, because our true growth comes when it shows up. Was it really simple and easy? Were there months that you didn't struggle financially at times? Absolutely. There are lessons still to be learned. But when it is showing up, the lessons will actually take you to another lesson in life, which means you're going to hit a whole other level of whatever it might be, love, abundance, happiness, whatever it might be. And everybody that's ever been super successful in any aspect of their life has gone through turmoil on a regular basis. It's how we handle that turmoil when that turmoil shows up.
Everybody says it. I mean, if I've never been to a Tony Robbins seminar, but I hear he says, you know, think of your wildest dream, what you want your life to look like. Forget any limitations at all. Great idea. There's a guy, I read a great book. Phil Jackson, if you know who he is, he was the coach of the Bulls in the 90s. He was the coach of the Lakers. He won 6 championships. He worked, Michael Jordan credits his success with Phil Jackson.
All together.
And so the guy who he brought in to work with Michael Jordan, and then he worked with Shaq and Kobe, he says, think only about what you want. Don't ever think about how you're going to get it. How you're going to get it, then that's what you're asking yourself. Just think about what you want. And it's counterintuitive. I totally understand it. But you honestly, that's all you have to do is think about what you want.
Dream big. There's reality. Don't get disappointed when your dreams don't show up in a month, because eventually they're going to show up. If you can't have faith in the future, you can't have faith in the present. If you can't have faith in what could happen a year from now, you're not having faith in the whole process. And the process sometimes is rocky, it's bumpy, and as the Beatles says, it's a windy road. And you're going to go through those winds and those curves and those moments. But if you truly believe it, it will happen. That's today's reality. We'll see you tomorrow. 10-minute daily reality check out. Do me a favor, spread the word. I want to see more downloads because that's my intent. 1 million downloads a month by September of 2018, by my daughter's birthday, which, by the way, is September the 15th, 2017. Happy birthday, my daughter. Wish her a happy birthday, please, even though you don't know her. Because the more love and the more love she gets, the more fulfilled we all become. Spread it, pass it.